Miles and miles of Texas land are bordered by rivers and streams, but water boundaries can be confusing. For instance, where's the boundary when the boundary is a creek or a river? On this particular river, which is a navigable river, the state owns the bed of the river. The boundary between privately owned land and state-owned land, unless the deed says otherwise, is the gradient boundary. Here's how you define the gradient boundary. You find the lowest level where the water reaches the cut bank, just barely reaches the cut bank. Then you find the highest level where the water it reaches, but it doesn't overflow the cut bank. The gradient boundary is the midpoint between those two levels. And when you're dealing with a private land parcel that is bordering a state-owned navigable riverbed, that's where the boundary is. Now, boundaries move when they're water boundaries, because as the river flows or a creek flows, it can erode away portions of the bed. Also, when that silt gets into the water, it gets deposited somewhere else, which is called accretion. And when that happens over a long period of time, the creek or the river actually moves. And so how that affects your boundary depends on how that happens. If it is a gradual and imperceptible change, which is erosion or accretion, then that land will either grow or shrink as the creek moves. If it is a sudden event, it doesn't change the boundary at all. It's called avulsion, and it doesn't change the boundary. Another thing that can happen is that you can have subsidence. That's when the land sinks. It doesn't matter whether it's gradual or sudden. If the land sinks, even if it's below the water, it doesn't change the ownership of the land. The boundaries remain the same. For more information, check out my article in TG or on our website.